Hello everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series, we're completing our unit on how to motivate. In Class 8, we're going to work on revising some of our question forms that we could use in small talk situations to talk about our motivation at work, how we feel about work, and the kind of small talk that you do when you're taking a break. So we're going to put our vocabulary into use, put our key expressions for small talk into use, but specifically we're going to work on question forms and look at different varieties of questions. Okay? In the chat window you'll also see a link to our presentation for today if you want to open it or download it. Okay, that's a little bit about the class. Hopefully everyone can see me okay. Let me just ask a question there. Can everyone see me okay? Because I don't see anyone coming in, so that could be a problem with the Hangout. Let me just see. Let's take a minute and just see if this is working. Give me just a second, everyone.
Where is the John?
John is not here. Jim?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I hear you. I don't see John.
Okay. Maybe we should waiting for him.
Yes. Just wait a little bit. He has some problem, maybe. Michael, he's here. Hi, John.
Yeah, let's see if I can get this working now. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't see anyone, and so I left and came back. Okay, anyway, I think it's working now. Okay, so I'm going to skip the introduction because you've heard it a million times. I'm just going to put this on the screen. This is the presentation. If you want, you can download it, put it in the chat window, okay? Or you can just follow along on screen. In this unit, we've been talking about motivation. We learned 2 sets of vocabulary words to talk about how we're motivated, how we're unmotivated, how we feel about work in general. We talked about how to make small talk. We looked at 10 strategies or pointers that will help us use small talk in a sort of more productive way in a business setting, let's say. In the last class, we worked on one of those pointers, which was having an exit strategy. In other words, how do you politely excuse yourself from a small talk situation without offending anyone? And at the very end of class, we started using question forms. So actually, I'm going to move forward. Give me a second here to... Nope, I went too far. Sorry. Here. So in this class, we're doing our language at work section. using question forms. We're going to be revising what we know about question forms in the context of Smalltalk, okay? So even if you weren't in the other classes, don't worry. You'll pick it up as we go along, and you'll have a chance this week to put it all together in a big speaking activity where we usually have a meeting or a role play where we get to put together all of our skills. So you'll have a chance to try it out on your own. Okay? Let me just say a quick hello to people that I don't know. So I see, first of all, Valerio. I don't think I've met you before.
Never.
Hello, Valerio. Where are you from?
I come from Italy.
From Italy.
The southern Italy. And I'm on Verbling since 1 week, more or less.
For 1 week. Okay, very good. Nice to have you here. Let me get my name back on the screen so everyone knows. If there's any doubt, you now know that I'm a teacher. Look, put my name on the screen. There we go. And Antonio, this is your first class as well?
Yes, I think it's the first class with you.
Okay, where are you from, Antonio?
I'm from Spain.
You're from Spain. Where in Spain?
Yes. In the south of Spain.
In the south of Spain. Everyone's from Andalusia. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay, so if I know where you're from, I will probably remember you the next time. That's why I ask. And Jaime, I think you're new as well?
No, it's my second, but well, I've been a long time without joining Berlin, so.
Nice to have you. And where are you from again?
I'm from Spain, from Alicante, in the southeast of Spain.
From Alicante. Okay, great. All right, and welcome back, Jason, Luo, and Yuki, and welcome back. So let's do this. Let me put the presentation back on screen where we left off. All right, we're going to start with this grammatical part, but we're going to use it to do a speaking activity. No matter what we learn, it's always in the context of speaking and communicating in this business class. So, in the last class, we revisited some of the audio we had listened to, some of these unsuccessful conversations, and we put in order, not in order, we categorized some of the key expressions that we used. We did this yesterday, but I want to just do a very, very quick review of this right now. So what I'm going to have you do is listen very quickly to 2 of the conversations because they're really short. Then we're going to review how we categorize these, whether they're starting a conversation, finding out information, checking or confirming, or showing surprise. It's just going to be a quick review. We're going to do it really fast, and then we're going to move on from there. So first of all, I'm going to return to our audio. If you give me just a second here. I can't play the audio, I have to read it. So I'll tell you who's speaking. Give me just a second to go back. Audio from 6 to 7. Where do you come from? You know what? I wonder if I have the. Maybe I could do something a little different here. I think I have a transcription I could show you. Maybe that would be a little bit better. Hang on just a second. If I have it, then maybe I can actually have you read through it since it's a review. Give me just a second, see if I have it. Give me just a moment to go to the audio. Do I have the right one? I think I do. Hold on. Yeah, I do. Okay, so we're gonna. I know this is gonna be a little hard to see on the screen, but rather than me having, because we've done this as a listening activity, right? I don't want to do this as a listening activity today. I want you to really focus on the language. So I'm actually gonna have you. I'm gonna have you do the conversation. So you read them. So I'll try to make it as big as I can on screen. Okay, and we can each just go around and do one conversation and Then we'll go back and categorize some of the key expressions. Then we're going to pick apart the form of the questions and look at the variety of questions we can ask in these situations, okay? So let's go from right to left, starting with Yuki and Valero. Okay, for Yuki, this is a review. For Valero, this is an introduction. We're going to look at conversation 1 and afterwards decide if it's successful or unsuccessful. Yuki, you're going to be Harry. Okay. Valero, you're going to be Alessandro. You don't have a lot of lines, Valero, okay? Sorry about that.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Yuki.
Okay. Hello. I saw you sitting on the table at dinner, but I didn't have a chance to speak to you. I'm Harry.
Hi, I'm Alessandro.
Who did you come with? Is this your first company event?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you'll have a great weekend. Have you seen the program?
No, not yet.
Oh, well, it looks very entertaining. I think there are some left at the information desk. Are you here with colleagues?
No.
Well, you'll soon get to know people. So, would you like another drink?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
Well, it'd be nice talking to you. Alessandro, you don't mind if I go and get myself a coffee? See you later.
Alessandro, would you say this was a successful small talk conversation? Alessandro, I'm sorry,
Valerio. Okay. No, I think it's not a successful conversation. No. Alessandro is very unpolite, in my opinion.
Right, or maybe he's very shy, right? We don't know why he's not answering. Okay, and what could Yuki, thinking back to our 10 points, our 10 strategies?
Yes.
What was the strategy that Harry did use? And what was a strategy that he could have used? So what one strategy did he use here? Do you remember?
Harry used the first tactics. How do you say? First strategy. Sorry.
Yeah.
So she introduced himself. She introduced herself.
Himself.
No, she didn't use a tagline.
He didn't use a tagline, but he did do one thing well. At the very last line, right? The very last.
Yes. She used strategy 10, 9, 10.
I don't know. Well, what did he do? What did he do?
She have some phrase ready for executing herself politely and moving to another.
Yeah, himself. It's Harry. It's a guy. Himself.
Harry. Sorry.
Right.
Again. So he used he used the strategy 9. He had phrases ready for executing himself. To go.
Right. So, I don't have the strategies here, but I can put a link to them. I think it was in the first presentation that we did. So at the end of class, I can give you a link to it. But yeah, Yuki's right. He had an exit strategy, and his exit strategy was, oh, you don't mind if I go get a drink? You don't mind if I go get a coffee? You don't mind if... So he's got a phrase in his back pocket he can take out if the conversation doesn't go anywhere. And another strategy he used was personalizing the conversation by mentioning the name, the echo strategy. He calls Alessandro Alessandro, right? So he did try to make the conversation work. He tried, but it didn't quite work. All right. Okay. So we're going to.
He couldn't use the open question. Open questions. So
absolutely. He could have, but he didn't really. He could have.
he could have used open questions, so that
well, to make Alessandro talk,
make
right?
Alexander talk easier.
Absolutely. So Alessandro, we don't know. We don't know why he didn't talk. Maybe he's shy. Maybe he's in a bad mood. But he could have tried a little harder by saying, "So, what do you think about the event?" Or, I mean, he could have done more. I agree. All right. Let's go to. Let's see. I think it's Luo and Jason next. This is a short conversation. For the two of you, I think this is a review. So, Luo, why don't you read Paolo? And Jason, why don't you read Sonia for us? Okay?
Okay. Hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Paolo from Napoli. I work for one of the company's suppliers.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Sonia from France.
Nice to meet you.
So, I've heard that Naples is becoming very popular for foreign investors. Is that true?
Well, Sonia, it's interesting that you say that because of something. Yeah.
Because, okay, so did we think that this was a successful or unsuccessful small talk conversation?
I think it's successful.
I agree. Jason, what strategy do you think made this successful? You don't have to remember the numbers 1 to 10. It doesn't matter. But what was Paulo or Sonia doing that made it successful? Give me one example. So give me an example of something that they did to make it successful, to keep the conversation going, or whatever.
They ask a question each other to.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, they ask a question each other, and they made compliments each other to yeah.
So compliment, do you mean compliment or do you mean that they greet each other?
Yeah, they greet each other by saying, "Nice to meet you." Oh.
Right. Because in French, the word is, it sounds like compliment, but actually it's translated as to greet in English. Like nice to meet you is a greeting. Absolutely. I agree. And Luo, besides asking questions to get each other to speak and greeting each other warmly, was there anything else from the strategies that you saw here? I see one more thing.
Yes,
what about Yeah, go ahead.
I think they have talked about the places they are familiar with, so they have the mutual things to talk about.
Absolutely. Good point. So they're talking about safe topics and trying to find, not mutual things, the word is common ground. Common ground. You can see it here in the chat window. Common ground. See it?
Yes.
So that would be, I'll put it in the notes a little later. I don't have the notes open right now, but I'll add it to our vocabulary list. Okay? Whoops, I just lost my screen share. 1 second. Sorry. Okay, I agree with both of you. It's a more successful conversation. This one is going to be with, let's see, we have Jaime and Antonio. This one is new for you. Okay, so Jaime, you're going to read Sumitra, and Antonio, you're going to read Krishnan, and you're going to tell me if this is successful or unsuccessful. Okay? Are you ready, Jaime?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sumitra, based in the UK.
Hello, I'm Krishnan. Sorry, where are you from originally?
Well, my parents live in Calcutta. I was born there, but I've moved around a lot.
You are from Calcutta? No, that is amazing. My parents are from India. In fact, they are now visiting relatives.
What a coincidence! Where do they come from?
From Bhiwandi, near Mumbai.
Bhiwandi, isn't it famous for its textile industry?
That's right, yes. So have you spent much time in India recently?
Okay, good. By the way, in English we say the short U sound for Calcutta. So it's not Calcu, but Calcutta. Calcutta. Right? Okay. So what do you think, guys? Successful or not successful in terms of making small talk? What do you think?
Very successful, Sonat.
Very successful. Okay. Give me a reason why it's successful. What did they do to make it successful? What did you see them doing?
Maybe they found, as in the other conversation, they found their common ground.
Absolutely. They found common ground, and they were looking for it too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. And Antonio, would you add anything to that besides common ground? Did they do anything else to have good, polite small talk?
Yeah, I think it's successful too, because it's a common ground and is the thing appears alone without.
What appears alone?
The theme appears without force. It appears alone.
So you mean naturally? Naturally.
Natural. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, it does seem very natural. And one of the reasons is because they're asking questions right away. Like, okay, we have the common ground. We're from India. Oh, Bhiwandi is famous for textiles, isn't it? Yes, that's right. So Sumitra is asking a question that Krishnan is able to talk about. And so it doesn't even matter what they're talking about. What matters is that they're establishing a kind of connection between each other. So it's successful in that way. So asking questions, finding common ground, and also there's another strategy in the beginning. I'm Sumitra based in the UK. Well, that's strategy number one we learned about in an earlier class. That's tagline, right? Your name, what you do, where you're from in one sentence. I'm John Eric, an online English teacher from New York, right? There's my tagline. So quick identification gives the other person a lot of things to talk about, to follow up on. All right? And let's do the last conversation before we move on. This is going to be with Zorab and me. Okay, let's see who speaks more. Adam speaks more. I'll be Adriana, and Zorab, you're going to be Adam. We're going to read this, and I think I have to scroll up to the top again. Hold on a second. Let me just check. I think it continues. Yeah. Okay. At the very end, I got to scroll up to the top of the document so we can finish the conversation. Okay. Are you ready, Zorab?
Yes.
All right. You're going to be Adam. I'll read Adriana. Go for it. So you begin.
Good evening, Adriana. Oh, I thought I might see you back for another company event.
Oh, Adam, how lovely to see you here. I heard you weren't coming.
Really? Who told you?
I can't remember. But anyway, how are things?
Oh, Adriana, where should I begin? I injured my leg in January in a skiing accident. The doctor told me to take it easy. But how could I rest with my job? Then I...
1 second. There you go.
Then I got
flu,
but we were organizing a huge trade fair at the time, so I had to keep going.
Oh dear.
Then I had problems at home with my daughter. She is 15. You know, and she...
I'm sorry to hear about that. Look, I have to go, Adam. Catch you later. So what do you think, Zorab? Was this a successful small talk conversation or not so successful?
In my opinion, it is unsuccessful.
Okay.
Because there is some disagreement. I think so.
Disagreement about what?
Not disagreement, but there is a little unsuccessful talking.
Absolutely. I think most people would probably say it was not so successful. And what is Adam doing that he probably shouldn't be doing in the conversation? What is Adam being a good partner in the conversation, Zorab? Is he talking about things? Is Adam talking about things that Adriana is able to respond to? What do you think?
Adam talking about his illness.
Right. If you were in a business situation, would you talk about all these negative things?
No, it is.
Of course not.
When you talk about and you are planning to do something, for example, business, with your partner conversation will be only positive conversation. Because it is important. When you at first speaking about or in the middle of your conversation speak your negative events, I don't know, break down your illness, other negative things, it will be reached your conversation, not your imagine.
Well, instead of saying reach, let's say it in a different way. It'll put the conversation in the wrong direction, right? It'll put it in the wrong direction. It's too negative, and the other person can't really talk about those things. Maybe they don't even want to hear about it. So I agree. It's a little too negative, not so successful. Okay, so very good job, Zorab. I agree completely with you. What I want to do, though, is let's take a look at as a class. Now, this is just a quick review. We did this before.
John, can we have a copy of this conversation? It's difficult.
I can't do it now, unfortunately. No.
Maybe after the class.
I can give you a link after the class, but I have to add it to the document.
Okay.
So it's too difficult to do during the class, but I can add it.
It's okay after the class.
So
I'd like to review the conversation after.
Okay. Yes, I can add it. Maybe I can always try to. I can try to always put the transcripts in the document at the end or something. Okay. Based on your memory, very quickly, I just want you to match some of the key expressions you just heard with the categories on the right. This is a review. We actually did it yesterday, but not all of you were here, so we're not going to spend a lot of time with it. But for those of you who weren't here, it'll be a good introduction, and then we're going to move on after that to I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then we're going to put it into practice here. We're going to try it out on our own using some of those key expressions. You'll be thinking of questions to ask in certain situations, okay? So let's go back here first. We're going to go around the room. Well, Yuki, let's see, it was Zorab, so Yuki, you're actually next, okay? And for you, this is a review, but let's do it together. Where did it come from? Would you say that that's starting a conversation, finding out information, checking or confirming, or showing surprise?
I think where do they come from? finding out the information.
Okay, finding out information. Maybe it's asking. I don't remember which dialogue this came from now. Actually, I don't remember. It was I have to take another look. I don't remember exactly which one it came.
Maybe from India, yeah. Second conversation, no.
I think so, but
no.
Hold on. Wait. Yeah. It's from the India conversation.
India conversation. Okay.
Yeah. Sumitra says, "What a coincidence! Where did they come from?" Right. So it is finding out more information. That's true, and of course, it's also a way to keep the conversation flowing. Right. It's actually both. Okay. Very good. So we'll say, sorry, I've got the wrong book open. One second. I've got to open the right. Okay. So finding out information, and yeah, that's it. I was just seeing if we could categorize it in any other way, but no, it's really just finding out information. Okay, so let's go on to, we're going to go around the room. Valerio, the next line is that true? When you heard that, which of those four categories do you think it would best fit?
Checking or confirming information.
Absolutely. So you would ask a question like that to check or confirm information.
It is show that you interested in information or
in the conversation. You're interested in the conversation. It shows that you're listening.
Yes, when you ask other question correctly question.
I agree. It shows that you're paying attention, that you're interested, that you're engaged. Absolutely. Okay, so Valero, I agree completely with you. Jason, you're on C.
Who did you come with? Finding out information?
Right. All of these have more than one use, but the basic use is finding out information. Beyond that, it gets the other person to speak. Okay? Jaime, we're on D now.
Don't you live in Italy? I think it, well, the nearest maybe is checking or confirming information, but it's also finding out information.
Absolutely. It's both. Absolutely, it's both. By the way, Jaime, I'm hearing an echo, so make sure you close the Verbalink window in the background, okay? Everything should be closed except the Hangout, otherwise we get an echo, okay? Either that or you're not using headphones. It could be that. If you're not using headphones, it's a good idea because the microphone will pick up the speakers. Okay, Antonio, we're on E now.
Okay, have you spent much time in India? Maybe finding out information, because do you know to know that his person is in India?
Absolutely. So finding out information, so number 2, we're on E, right? And it doesn't really fit the other categories, so it's just a way to keep the conversation going by finding out more. Zorab, we're on F now.
You are from Calcutta.
Yeah, and in the conversation was, you're from Calcutta? What a coincidence.
You are from Calcutta.
Right.
This question maybe is checking or confirming information, because at first he has known already where they come from.
Well,
this question.
He didn't know. He didn't know that the person was from. He knew the person was from India. That's true, right? But he probably had a feeling that the person was, because the person, I forgot, I think it was Sumitra, said, I'm based in the UK. But he probably had a feeling that she was Indian or something like that, and then he found out more.
That is why it is, this question is just finding out information.
Well, it's not only finding out information, because remember how it was asked. You're from Calcutta? What a coincidence!
Showing surprise.
Absolutely. So, showing surprise, which also shows that you're interested in the conversation. You're engaged by, oh, what a coincidence, and it gets the person to get excited the way you're excited. Yuki, we're on G now.
And that question, who told you, it's also categorized as showing good surprise.
Right? Only showing surprise?
Not only. It's also checking confirmation. No. Finding out information.
Right. That's the unsuccessful conversation where Adam keeps talking about his daughter and his leg and whatever, right? So, yeah, he wants to know who's the rat who said he wasn't coming, because then maybe people don't like him. I don't know. So it's also showing surprise. I agree. Okay, and we're back to Valerio for, where are we? For H?
It's Adriana, isn't it? Checking or confirming information.
Checking or confirming information. Yeah, and maybe there's another way. There's another category here. What else could it be? Think back to what.
Finding out information.
Well, I was going to say, isn't that how they started the conversation? The guy walked up to her and said, "Oh, it's Adriana, isn't it?" And the conversation started from there. So this one could actually be both. I think it's starting a conversation as well as checking information, right? Think about the conversation that we read. I think it's how it actually began. And Jason, last one, we're on I.
Dinner was fantastic, wasn't it? I think it's checking or confirming information.
Checking or confirming information. Only checking or confirming information?
It might be finding out information.
Well, remember what I said yesterday. Is this question a literal question? Do I really want to know if dinner was fantastic? Dinner was fantastic. Wasn't it? We all know if dinner is fantastic, right? It's rhetorical.
Showing surprise.
Yeah, I don't know if it's showing surprise. I think it's a way to get people to speak more than anything else, right? So when you finish the meal, you know, oh, that was great, wasn't it? You're not asking. You're trying to get people to speak.
Yeah. So
right?
It's a starting conversation.
I think that's really the only one that it fits here. It's just number one, starting a conversation. Okay, keep these in mind for a minute. What is the unusual word order for WH and yes/no questions? So you've got to go back to that list and look at the difference. Look at the difference. What's the difference in word order between WH questions and yes/no questions? All right. So let's go back. Oh wait, actually, Jaime, you're next in the list. I'm going to go to you next. So Jaime, give me an example of a WH question first. Pick one from the list from A to I. Pick one WH question out so we can analyze it.
Where do they come from?
Exactly. Where do they come from? Okay. Is the word order different than a normal sentence, like I do my homework? I is the subject, do is the verb, my homework is the complement or object. How is the word order different in a WH question, Jaime?
Well, you use the WH particle in the beginning.
Right.
Then the verb.
Auxiliary verb, right?
Yeah, well, sorry, auxiliary verb always, and then the subject, the main verb, and then
that's it. That's fine. That's it.
So well, that's all, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So it's basically WH, verb, subject, verb. It's like a sandwich. And the verb is do, because we're in the present tense. If it was in a different tense, it would not be the verb to do. But we usually ask in the present tense because we're talking in general. And the verb to do, the present tense, is the general tense. Like, how do you do? That means nice to meet you. How do you do? I'm not literally asking you how or what you're doing. I'm asking, I'm just greeting you. Okay. Antonio, let's look at question C. Could you read that for us, Antonio? Question C.
Who did you come with?
Who did you come with? Does that follow the same pattern that we discussed? Is it WH, verb, subject, verb? Does it follow the same pattern?
Well,
it's not a trick. Not a trick question. I'm just asking you to analyze it.
I'm sorry, but I think I agree with this because the question is start with WH.
Right. Good.
The problem is the answer is not yes or no.
Oh, that's right. It's not a yes/no question. Absolutely. WH questions are not yes/no questions. You're right. You're right. I just wanted to know if the pattern was the same as A. And what do you think? Are A and C, do they have the same pattern? WH, verb, subject, verb. Are they the same?
Is the subject of the question, no?
The words are different, yeah. But is the structure the same? Is the structure the same, Antonio?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, it is,
yes.
Of course. So they're exactly the same. Exactly the same. The reason I'm pointing that out is because, Zurab, look at question G. Could you read that for us? Question G.
Who told you?
Exactly. Who told you? The structure is different here, isn't it? What's the difference between G and A and C? A and C have a different structure than G. What's the difference?
Different? Really, there is different. This question, in this question, we don't use auxiliary verb.
Exactly. That's it. That's all. That's the difference. There's no auxiliary verb in who told you. So when you use who, you don't necessarily need the verb to do. That's what you have to pay attention to. But there's a reason for that. We've got two kinds of questions: subject questions and what we call object questions. In most languages, object is called complement, complemento, right? So in English we call it object. We can also say complement, but we usually say object. What I mean is this. If the subject of the sentence is what we're asking about, for example, where do they come from? Okay, so the subject, where do they come from? Subject is they. Who told you? Okay, this is a little bit hard to explain. It's more confusing than let me give you another example here. Hold on a second here. In who told you, the subject is what we're asking about. So in those kind of questions, specifically with who and whom, we don't need the auxiliary verb. Where do they come from? Who did you come with? Is not asking about the subject, it's asking about the object or the complement. So the focus is on the end of the sentence, not the beginning of the sentence. So in other words, A and C are object questions, and G is a subject question. So this is a little harder to explain than it is to use. Using it is quite easy. Basically, who and whom are often object questions. If you're asking about the our subject questions. Who and whom are often subject questions. You're asking about the subject, no auxiliary verb. All right, let that information sink into your brains for a moment, okay? Yuki, can you give me an example of a yes-no question in that list?
Don't you live in Italy? Question
Absolutely.
there.
Right.
You are from Calcutta. F and H. It's Andriana, isn't it?
Okay, and all three of them have a different form, right? All three of them have a different form.
Yes.
And
Dina was fantastic, wasn't it?
Right. Well, let's start with the first one. Don't you live in Italy? Okay, don't you live in Italy? First of all, how do we know that's not an open question? How do we know it's a yes or no question?
Because first of the sentence, auxiliary verb it's used, is placed, and after that subject and verb. So this construction means yes, no question.
Yeah. So using the auxiliary verb instead of a WH verb, instead of a WH word, a question word. Okay? And you can see the three different forms. I could say you live in Italy, don't you? I can also say, don't you live in Italy, to confirm. It's Adriana, isn't it? Isn't it Adriana? There's more than one way to say it. In H and I, we use question tags. Isn't it is a tagged on question. Tag means that we've added it to the end. One sentence with two parts. Our question here is, how can a statement be made into a question without changing the word order? Valerio, that one's for you. Again, these are not hard questions. These are very obvious questions. So how would you answer number 3? How can a statement be made into a question without changing the order of the words? Based on what you see here in A through I.
Can I make an example?
Sure. Sure.
You are American, isn't it?
You are American, aren't you?
Oh, okay, you're American, aren't you?
Right.
Okay.
So the statement would be, you are American. And the question is tagged onto the end. So the answer to number 3 is use a question tag. Right? Use a question tag. If I say you are American, the question tag is negative, aren't you? If I say you aren't American, the question tag is positive, are you? You aren't American, are you? Right? So I agree with you, Valerio. All you need to do is add a question tag and the word order stays exactly the same as the sentence.
Yes.
Jason.
Okay. Jason,
number 4. What answer is expected from I and H? What's the answer we're looking for in those two questions?
The answer who is looking for is yes or no?
Well, answer the question. It's Adriana, isn't it? What should Adriana answer?
Yes, is it?
Yes. Yes, what?
No, we can say yes, is it? Or yes.
But wait a second. Look, wait. It's Adriana, isn't it? Isn't it? It's negative, right?
Yeah.
So the answer was going to be positive. What would Adriana say? One more time. Yes.
Yeah. Is it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Right. It's the word order. You got to put it first because it's a statement. Right? It's not a question now when you're answering. It's a statement. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the same for I, right? Jaime, what's the answer to I? Dinner was fantastic, wasn't it? What's the answer going to be, Jaime?
Sorry. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Exactly. Yeah. Yes, it was. And then probably you're going to say more because everyone knows it's a rhetorical question. A question that's asked just to make conversation. All right. I think we've got a little bit of time here. So what I want you to do is think of questions to ask in these situations. All right? So, well, Jaime, you didn't get a big chance to talk. So we'll start with you, Jaime. We'll keep going around the room. Jaime, your company is sending you to work in Hong Kong. You want to know about travel plans and accommodations. All right? Thinking back to those question forms, what's a possible question you could ask in that situation? Give me one. Thinking back to, remember we had questions in different forms. We also had different purposes. Some of them are to confirm. Think back to these categories for a second. Starting conversation, finding out information, checking or confirming, showing surprise. So think about those 4 categories as you answer, okay? What's one question you could ask here?
Well, I would say maybe how should I go and where would I live there?
Okay, those are 2 questions. So let's hear each one separately. The first question is what?
How should I go there?
How should I go there? You mean go, or maybe there's a better verb instead of go?
How should I travel there?
Not travel. How should I get is right. How should I get there?
Ah, sorry. Yeah.
How should I get there? We don't say travel in that way. Okay. Your company's sending you to Hong Kong. You want to know about the travel plans and arrangements. Okay. How should I get there? You're talking to whom, Jaime?
To my boss, I guess.
To your boss. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. So, boss, how should I get here? How should I get there? Or how would you like me to get there? What are the plans? Okay. Sounds good. You can ask that. Okay. Antonio, give me an additional question besides generally how to get there. What's an additional, more specific question that might be asked in number 1? Let's say you want to find out about the details, Antonio. What might you ask?
Sorry, but I didn't understand this exercise.
The exercise is using the 4 categories: starting a conversation, finding out information, checking or confirming, or showing surprise. Ask questions in one of those categories, and if possible, try to use different question forms like we discussed. WH questions, yes, no questions, question tags. So try to use those forms to make your questions, okay? Try to use more than one form if you can. So Jaime was saying, I could ask, how should I get there? A general question. That's a WH question. Can you ask another kind of question in number 1, Antonio?
In number 1?
Yeah.
I suppose I asked in no yes or no question. I would like a complete answer.
Okay.
Give me a complete information, not yes or no, because if not, the conversation could be very, very long.
I agree completely. So tell me the question you would ask.
For example, I asked, could you say something about the travel plans or accommodation in Hong Kong?
Could you repeat the beginning? Could you?
Yes. Please, could you give me some information about the travel plans and accommodation in Hong Kong?
Okay. That kind of question is what I call a TED question. TED. TED equals tell me, explain, describe, and there are other things you could say that are synonymous with tell me, explain. So here I would say, instead of could you give me, which is okay, it's okay, there's nothing wrong with that, you might want to say, could you tell me a little bit about the travel plans? Or if you're going to use give me, we could say, could you give me the details? Could you give me the details about the travel plans and arrangements? Okay?
Okay.
I call those TEDs because it's easy to remember the acronym TED for tell me, explain, and describe. But you can also say give me. That's all right too. All right. Zorab, we got a little bit of time left, so let's look at number 2. In your case, Zorab, you and Yuki, you're going to each give me a question here, and you're going to try to use a variety of question forms. Zorab, you and Yuki, you are about to order a product and want to check that these details are correct. Price, 200 euros. Delivery, 5 days. Delivery charge, 8 euros. Guarantee, 1 year. Zorab, give me one question you could ask in that situation. Would you ask WH questions here? Or would you ask more yes-no questions?
I must answer only one question, yes?
Just give me one example. Yeah, give me one example. Would it be a WH question, or would it be a yes-no question?
How much money is this product?
Well, wait a second. Remember, your goal is to check that the details are correct. So you already know.
Okay,
right?
Sorry.
So what would you do to check, to verify?
If this product 100 euro.
100? I see 200 there.
200 euro.
Okay. And so you're going to, that's a yes-no question, right? Right? That's a yes-no question. Is this product 200 euros? Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Okay. Yuki.
Yes.
He's asking a yes-no question, which is okay, but our main goal is to verify. So I'd like you to take his yes-no question. I'd like you to change it a little bit so it turns into a verification question. How do you think we could change his question so that its only purpose is verifying? How could we change the structure of his question? Instead of saying, is this product 200 euros, how could we change it so that it's really about only verifying the fact?
The price of the product is 200 euro, isn't it?
Perfect. Zorab, do you see what he did there?
Okay.
What did he do? Do you remember what we call that kind of question, Zorab?
Yes. This product delivery is 5 days, isn't it?
Very good. That's right. The product delivery time will take 5 days, won't it?
Okay.
It's about the future. The product delivery time will take 5 days, won't it? That's the right idea. That's called a question tag. Valerio, can you give me another question tag for the third answer there? Valerio.
Okay, you're at the conference and meet someone.
No, not the third question. The third point. The third point in the second question.
It's a surprise. Okay.
Yeah.
It really costs 200 euros, isn't it? No, it really costs 200 euros, really?
Well,
no,
we did. What? No, it's fine. It's fine. But we did that one. Look at the delivery charge. How would you ask that with a question tag?
Delivery charge. Okay. Will the delivery charge cost 8 euros?
Will the delivery charge cost 8 euros is fine, but it's not a question tag. Try it as a question tag first.
Okay. The delivery charge is only 8 euros.
Isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah. Delivery charge is only 8 euros, isn't it?
Perfect. That's it. So the question tag is, isn't it?
Okay.
Valerio, there's more than one way to ask that question. Can you give me another way to ask that question without a question tag?
Okay. How can the delivery charge cost only 8 euros?
Why? You don't believe it's that cheap?
Yes, it's too cheap.
Okay, it's possible. Here's another.
It's a WH question, isn't it?
It is a WH question. It is a WH question. If we're going to verify the price, though, Yuki says you'll charge us for delivery, won't you? Right? That's another question tag. Here's my suggestion. You could also say a yes/no question. Did you say there'll be a delivery charge of 8 euros? And then yes, I did, and so you can ask the question a variety of ways. Here, as a yes/no question, did you say that there would be a delivery charge? Delivery charge too. Okay, so look, that's a yes/no question, but it forces a person to say more. And Jaime says, how much would the delivery charge? How much would... Listen, Jaime, you got to move the B in that question. Ooh, someone's got a lot of feedback there. Sorry, Zorab, I've got to mute you because I'm getting a lot of feedback on your side. Jaime, in your question, the B has to be moved later in the sentence. So in not how much would be the delivery charge, but Jaime, you should say how much would the delivery charge to my home be at the end? Look how I wrote it in the chat window. Do you see that, Jaime? Okay. Jason, you're at a conference and you're at a conference and meet someone who went to the same college as you.
Yes.
What could you ask?
Did you go to the to this college? Did you go to this college? Didn't you?
Very good. That's it. Yeah. Let's say you went to the College of Notre Dame. Hey, you went to Notre Dame, didn't you? Right? Yeah. And why would you use a question tag? What's your purpose, Jason? I agree, but what's your purpose?
My purpose was to confirm if my whole file went to the same college.
To confirm the information. Is
yes.
that it? Yeah, and not only confirm, also start a conversation, right? So it's a way to start a conversation because that you force them to answer by using the question tag. You force them to answer. Okay, listen, I hope that this practice has been helpful just to get your head around some of the other question forms. We probably need a little bit more practice with this, so I'm going to give you some homework to try on your own, and then we'll see about tomorrow, because maybe we'll do a little more practice with this before we get to the final activity, which is going to be a case study. In our case studies, we usually have a business meeting or any kind of a business context speaking activity where you get to put all of the skills you've learned into practice in one activity. So I have to take a look and see if we're ready to start that or not. But I will give you a homework to practice these question forms after class today, and I will add the transcript of the audio so you can review it on your own as well. Okay? I'll be back tomorrow for 2 hours starting at 10 GMT with speaking skills, and then the next at 11 GMT, the next in our How to Motivate unit. Bye for now, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye for now.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye, John.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.